have learned some lessons boondocking. We boondocked for 7 days.
7 long days.
At 5 Mile Pass in Utah, right outside of Eagle Mountain City.
Which is like Lehigh area, if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. It was our first spot once we got to Salt Lake. We picked it because it seems like a good spot to not have snow or get stuck. It's our first time in the Salt Lake area. The 5 Mile area, we learned, is extremely dusty. It's like that fine dust that gets everywhere, every nook and cranny. So it made it very difficult to stay clean and only shower every 3 days.
Well, it's a recreational area too, so people are taking their side-by-sides and quads and dirt bikes, which is exactly why we went out there, because we do the same thing. But to live out there is a whole different story.
Yeah. So the weekdays weren't terrible. We pretty much had the area to ourselves. But once the weekend rolled around, we were pretty much in the middle of this like big dust storm. So we ended up leaving on Sunday, which was Easter, and that was not our plan at all.
When you have kids, they will fill up all your tanks quick. They'll empty them all and they'll fill them fast. So that is something you definitely have to be in mind.
Yeah.
It used to be the 3-3-3 rule. Everything lasts about 3 days and it takes 3 hours to dump and refill everything.
Yeah, so he left us to go dump and was not prepared for the 3 hours it took him to do that, which wasn't his fault. But he had to travel, like 30 miles to the nearest dump station.
Moral of the story is don't leave your family in the middle of nowhere thinking you're going to be right back with fresh water and empty tanks, because it's an adventure.
And I think that day it was really windy too, and so we all just hung out in the truck until sunset pretty much. But you know, that's life when you're boondocking. The 4th day, we heard these big booms, and we went on a little walk to figure out where the sound was coming from. And after a boom, like 5 minutes later, a tornado, like a dust tornado, would come flying through camp really quick and then just disappear. It was really crazy. So we took a little walk to go check it out, and we see these big explosions. Like 5 miles away, and me being the silly person I am,
I knew there was nothing to be worried about.
I called 911. And I don't know, I was in a panic, so I think I said something about, I think we might be getting attacked, and the dispatcher was really nice, and about 30 seconds into the call let me know it was a military training operation they were doing.
I mean, we are high profile celebrities, so I could see why they would come directly for us in the middle of nowhere on a Tuesday, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. So we have two trucks. We're fortunate enough where Jamie here, she gets to scout out locations for the big rig, and she found an awesome location at the end of this trail and told me to come on down it.
It was really flat and level, and that's all I was concerned with, because we had 3 nights of not being level before we got here. Yeah, I didn't realize it was an ATV road, and we probably shouldn't take our house down it.
But whatever you do, that trailer is going to react several seconds, depending on how far the axles are behind your truck. Turns were at high banks, and I could just see my house leaning at a 45-degree angle. I was sure all the plates had fallen out of the cupboards and everything was on the ground. It was pretty wild.
So he made it. I mean, he turned around, I think, right? And then you made it to the main road that actually led straight to the open level spot that I had found.
Yeah, just a pro tip for you guys. If you find a nice spot, but the road to get there wasn't good, I promise you there's a better road to get there.
Several things to look for when you're boondocking, and one of them being that the road is, trailer friendly. So before we left Las Vegas and our house, my husband, who knows a lot about things that I don't, he said, hey, we need new batteries. And me being the frugal budgeter that I am, said, no, we have batteries. We're fine.
We're good with our batteries.
Yeah. Stop freaking out about batteries. Like, let's just get out of town.
And y'all, we're not new to trailers. We had a toy hauler before this. We didn't live in it. We just enjoyed the weekends.
Yes. Weekend warriors.
And we upgraded those batteries. And we knew exactly what we needed to do to have sustainable battery life.
What was it? I think
every night?
No, it was every night I decided to take a shower and wash my hair. We would lose heat that night about 2 a.m. and it would get down really low at night, like what, 20s or 30s?
No, it was
really
16 degrees at 5 in the morning or something when I would wake up.
So my hair was like icicles, and
you have two kinds of power supply. You have your shore power, and then you have your 12 volt, and that comes from battery bank. And to run a heater all night to keep your trailer nice and cozy. To keep your trailer nice and cozy, you need 12 volt power, right? And that comes from the batteries. When your trailer is as big as ours and the heater runs as much as ours does, and your wife likes it as cozy as she does,
72.
You run out of battery life midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning, you will wake up very cold.
Yeah.
So what would we have to do, babe?
So I'd wake him up about 2 a.m. and I'd be freezing and kind of freaking out. And he would go outside in the 16-degree weather in his robe and his slippers, walk around the trailer, and it's all dark because we're in the middle of nowhere, and go and turn on our generator, which does not have just a push button. It's a pull start.
We're not fancy.
No. So it would take him, like 10 minutes to get that started because it's
cold.
Yeah, and dark. And then we just let the generator die. But we'd have heat after 2 a.m.
So y'all, we were running a generator non-stop. Almost 24 hours
all night long. Not really during the day, but all night.
Anytime anyone wanted to watch
if
TV
we wanted coffee
or anything like that, it was turned on.
Yeah.
It was on 24/7.
No.
The money you save boondocking, you spend in fuel if you don't have.
So true. Oh, this was one. I was super excited about the laundry situation. We don't have a washer and dryer on our RV, and so I looked up what people in those situations did, and there's this really cool service that some laundromats offer, and it's called Yeah, I know you're hungry. Wash and fold. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get out of laundry. This is gonna be great. They fold it and everything. So I dropped off about 4 loads of laundry, and I picked it up the next day, and she didn't tell me the price, and I didn't really ask, and it was $70. And so that was the end of the wash and fold service. And so now we're using laundromats. So.
Laundry in the middle of the morning.
In the middle of the morning, or really early in the morning?
Really early in the morning.
Yeah, super early in the morning. And there's snow outside, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very pretty though, huh? The biggest pro for me was the freedom for our family. The boys got to wake up and go dirt bike riding whenever they wanted. The dogs, we got to open the door and the dogs just go and run wild, and
It was nice.
yeah, there was no quiet time. There wasn't a limit of how high our fire could be off the ground. So the freedom was nice hairdo.
I didn't mind having to fill the trailer up with water, and we have external water tanks and stuff like that. So I mean,
55-gallon drum.
so
Thanks, Zach.
right? Thank you, Zach. Yeah, we appreciate that a lot. I didn't mind it. It was something to do. Things are different. When you live in an RV, your life is going to change because you're going to work on RV things. You don't work on
Landscaping.
Yeah, necessarily so much of the maintaining of a house, but maintaining of an RV, and they're different. I didn't think they'd be too different when we first got into it, but they're definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
And
You don't have as much free time as you would expect.
that's true. That's true.
But cleaning takes like 2 hours, like top to bottom. So that's really, really great.
Yeah, if you clean like it's a hospital.
I do. What's that one do?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to read some stuff.
All right.
So
All right. Well.
that's where we're at with
Yeah.
life. I've liked it so far.
Yeah.
It's been cool. It's been different, but it's been cool. The experience is nothing but good in my eyes.
Yeah. The traveling is what we've always wanted to do, and that's why we bought the RV to go explore and maybe put down roots if we find a good place. Maybe not. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for next week. Oh, where is he? Oh, there you are!
This is my first fire I ever made by myself.
So awesome. What you doing?
You were very bad at doing hiding.
Good, you took the fire from my fire. Goodness.